Year after year, Georgia fans have been begging Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs to sign a five-star elite wide receiver, and that's exactly what they did in last year's 2025 class. Talon Taylor, one of the best wide receivers in the country, recently got bumped up to a five-star in the final 2025 rankings. But listen, five-star, four-star, it doesn't matter with this kid. He is elite. He's ranked as the number 4 wide receiver prospect in the country now, number 23 overall, 6'1", 175. This kid is a natural receiver. Reminds me a lot of Don Blaylock. Maybe a little faster, maybe a little quicker than Don Blaylock, but the hands, the ability to create separation, the ball skills, the body control, the ability to leap up and make a tough catch, in the air, the ability to make plays in the screen and short passing game. This kid is elite when it comes to eluding defenders. He's dangerous after the catch. He can score anytime he has the football. And while he didn't play against the best competition up in Illinois, he was clearly, easily, right, the best player on the field week after week, and he proved it on tape. And you can go watch his tape over on Dawg Post, of course, but this is a guy that we've been talking about for a long, long time, even before he was committed to Georgia. There's a reason why James Coley and the offensive staff identified him early in the process and said, hey, we got to get this kid. He just makes it look so easy. Again, he's a natural. And I say that, Don Blaylock is similar because I do think those two were put on this earth to play wide receiver. And I know that Don Blaylock got hurt and his career wasn't what it should have been. But that dude, as a freshman, made big-time plays for Georgia in that 2019 class. Big catches against Georgia Tech, Florida, Auburn. I mean, he was well on his way to being an outstanding wide receiver for the Georgia Bulldogs. But he got hurt in that SEC championship game and was kind of never the same, really. But Talon Taylor is a guy that we've been told behind the scenes he could be that game-changing type receiver. And I absolutely think he is. Now, will he start day one? Probably not, because as crazy as it sounds, Georgia's got a lot of wide receivers on the roster right now. They brought in 2 guys, Zachariah Branch, Noah Thomas, who are different wide receivers, different skill set, but both of them should be making an immediate impact, right? This is, we're in an age where Kirby's not going out to the portal just for depth purposes, right? He's going out to get dogs, guys who can come in and make an impact immediately, and that's what those 2 can do. Dylan Belt is going to see the field, right? I mean, dude's not going to go riding the bench after a season where it was a little up and down, right? No doubt about it. His hands are inconsistent, or they were inconsistent last year. We'll see if he can improve that area of his game, but he's got to play because he's a weapon. He just needs to have the ball in his hands, but he needs to have a better season. London Humphreys is back, but, if London Humphreys and Nitro Tuggle and Scobie White, some of those younger receivers, if they don't start improving, I mean, they're good players. I'm not saying they're bad players at all, but they've got to keep improving, or this kid, Talon Taylor, is going to make them pay, and he's going to pass them on the depth chart because he is that good. And again, you turn on the film, and he just creates separation so easy. He can get open on his own. He can put a foot in the ground and change directions on a dime and leave defensive backs in the dust, and his ability to, fly up in the air, catch the football, and kind of hang up there. I mean, this kid can float. Very similar to what we saw from A.D. Mitchell. When he jumps up in the air, it just kind of feels like he's up there a little bit longer than he should have been. And, he's not the tallest guy. He's not 6'3", he's not 6'4", he's not 200 pounds, but he can really move. And I don't know if he brings elite speed, but he's fast enough to make big plays on a consistent basis and outrun defensive backs at the next level. I know he's got that speed. And he left defenders in the dust up in Illinois. It wasn't even fair. I mean, he was just toying with those kids. And it's not going to be nearly as easy, right, in the SEC, but he more than has enough speed, quickness, burst, acceleration to get the job done. I mean, this kid goes from 0 to 60 in a minute, right? In a second. It doesn't take a minute for this guy to get to his top speed. He is explosive, but it's the hands, the body control, and the big playability for me. And again, you can watch the highlights over on Dawg Post and see it for yourself. But even with a room that has some experience, Colby Young is also coming back, different player than Talon Taylor, but they've got some dudes in that wide receiver room, and Talon Taylor is one of them. I think that he will see the field in some capacity, right? And, in some way, shape, or form in the fall. They're not going to be a lot of super cupcake games. I know they've got a couple to start the season, right? We're going to see him, I think, in those 2 early games, but it's not going to take long for him to see some, real minutes against real defenses and quality defensive backs. But they love his style of play, and the numbers he put up last year were, helped him to get that 5-star ranking. Lit up the stat sheet: 84 catches, 1,617 yards, 24 touchdowns. I mean, the guy can score on any particular play from anywhere on the field, and not a lot of receivers can do that. He hit the 100-yard mark in 9 of his 14 games last fall, scored at least 1 touchdown in 13 of his 14 games. There was only 1 game where he did not score a touchdown. I mean, the guy just finds the end zone, and he does it easily, too. A lot of these touchdowns are like, man, he made that look way too easy. The guy's just a natural. He's got great instincts, a feel for the position. He glides when he runs. It doesn't really look like he's running super fast, but he does kind of take off away from defensive backs. And again, he's not going against a lot of 4-star, 5-stars defensive backs, right, in high school. But the talent, the athleticism, the hands, very easy to see. But he's only one of 5 guys that they brought in that 25 class. CJ Wiley, outstanding size, speed, ball skills, production. He's a top 100 player in the country. Thomas Blackshear out of Savannah. That dude is all muscle, man. Very similar to Dylan Bell, where he could probably take a few handoffs if they need him to. After the catch, he runs and plays like a running back. He'll lower that shoulder and run into you. Landon Roldan, outstanding speed. Was able to see him play at North Oconee. I mean, another guy that just glides. It doesn't look like he's given a whole lot of effort, but before you know it, he's flying right by you down the field. And then Tyler Williams, who was just a big play machine, probably should have got the ball a little bit more down in Florida, a guy that I don't think Georgia fans really know a ton about. But, Talon Taylor is one of those guys too, because there are way too many people out there. And I get it, to some extent, who they don't care about recruiting anymore. They don't follow it with NIL and the transfer portal. We're seeing less and less, Georgia fans care and follow recruiting. And that's a big reason why I wanted to make this video, because this kid can absolutely play. And I think the average to above average Georgia fan who doesn't really follow recruiting anymore, they need to know how good this kid is. I think he is going to change the game. That's what James Coley wants to do. He wants to bring in guys to, quote, change the game. And I think this explosive, sure-handed wideout could play significant minutes very soon. And if they didn't already have all these experienced guys, this dude's pushing for a starting role, right, out of the gates as a freshman. Now, he's got to hold off some of the other freshmen, and there are a few guys ahead of him, but, man, I think he's going to climb the depth chart more and more with every practice. And as the fall goes along, it wouldn't surprise me at all if we saw this kid make some big-time plays. But, hey, Georgia fans want elite receivers, and Georgia's done a good job of signing 4-star receivers and turning some 3-stars into really good ones, a.k.a. Ladd McConkey. But I believe Talon Taylor is the first 5-star wide receiver they've signed since George Pickens. And he was all the 5-star that he was coming out of high school. That guy was something else. A diva, and I'm not sure Talon Taylor's a diva. I don't know him that well, but from everything I've heard, speaking with people who know him more than I do and, have been around him, he checks all the boxes from a maturity standpoint, from an athleticism standpoint, to just being a big play machine and a guy who can stretch the field. He can get by defenders vertically, but you can hand it off to him. You can throw a little short pass, a screen, whatever. Just get this kid the ball. He can help in special teams. Doesn't matter. Just his ability to kind of elude defenders and make a miss after the catch. This kid is dangerous. And again, I went back and watched some of his senior film this morning, and I'm just thinking, man, this kid's got it. He's got it. He can do everything you asked him to do. And I do think he has an incredibly bright future. But hey, Georgia fans they've been asking for this year after year. When are they going to sign a 5-star receiver? They need to bring in those dogs, right? LSU signs them. Ohio State signs them. Alabama signs them. You have to have those killers, not in that general sense, but guys who can kill it in the game and torch those defensive backs, those big play machines. Talon Taylor is one of them. I think Georgia fans, this is the guy they've been wanting. This is the guy they've been asking for. They got him in this class. I think he's going to be fun to watch. I think he's going to be a fan favorite sooner than later. But at the end of the day, Georgia fans have wanted it. Now they got him. Talon Taylor, a 5-star prospect, one of the best wide receivers in the country, one of the best overall players, in my opinion, across the country. He's on campus right now, okay? And big deal. So thanks for watching this video. Hope you learned something. This is not breaking news. I probably should have said this at the beginning of the video. This kid's already on campus, but this is a guy who's going to play this year, no doubt about it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the website.